All right, I'm here today in Benton, Kansas at Stearman Field, and we're going to speak with Eric and Andrew Danner on their Aircam build. Check out our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and search EAC Aviation Podcast on YouTube.
My name's Eric Danner and my son Andrew. We're in the final stages of our Aircam build. We started the build in February of 2019. So we were about 850 hours into the project. Have really enjoyed it. Bought the airplane. I'm just a VFR, only private pilot. Fly strictly for fun. This is our fourth build. Yep. Second one that Andrew's been old enough to help with. Mm-hmm. And bought it simply because I like to fly low and slow, and I get the redundancy of the second engine.
So I assume Aircam offers different options for you. So they probably have a quick build and a basic kit, and you guys went with the basic kit.
Yep.
And
yep.
So how does that arrive? How does that come when you unbox it? What does that look like as a basic kit?
So behind you here, Brian, you'll probably see what's kind of left of what we had when we got the kit. So they kind of ship the fuselage and all the parts in two kits. They ship you the rear half of the fuselage in the big crate behind you, and then they send you a little smaller crate with the front half in, and they kind of pile parts in on top of it all. And basically from there you start transfer drilling all the holes inward from the outer skins. They've got all the holes drilled in the outer skins, soft aluminum rivets. It's all been jigged up at the factory.
Okay, so the skins themselves are pre-punched or pre-drilled.
Correct, yeah.
Are the formers and the ribs and everything behind it also? Is it match hold or not necessarily? You have to.
There are some holes that have been matched. So like the bulkheads are all in place, but not all the holes are drilled.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've just done some where they selectively drilled all the way through them, put soft aluminum rivets in to hold it all together. And what you do then is you start transfer drilling through the outer skin into the second skin and then into a bulkhead if there's a bulkhead behind it. Of course, you're drilling and clecoing as you go, and once you get all done with one size, then you go to a larger size.
Okay.
And drill it all out a second time and cleco all that as you go.
So it's pilot hole and then drill the final size.
Bingo.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Okay.
Of course,
exactly.
then it all comes apart and you spend several days deburring.
Sure.
It's a lot of time deburring. I think you spent, what, 8 hours one day doing all the
That's
deburring?
all I did for one
The
day.
joy of working with aluminum and sheet metal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's been fun. There was one bag of 8,000 rivets and another bag of 3,000 rivets. And we're just about all out of them now. So we're just about the end of riveting.
We're pretty sure we haven't missed any since we're about running out. You know, so.
Nice. So once you got the kit here, you took inventory, make sure you had all the bits and pieces. Which area did you concentrate and focus on first? What did you build first?
We started with the first book. There's 13 chapters, I think, in the 6 manuals that come with the kit, and the first is the fuselage, and that's where we just started there.
Okay.
And it was probably, it was the most involved, obviously.
And so the book recommends basically starting the fuselage, and then from there the tail, and then wings, or how do they walk you through it?
Tail
fuselage.
next mainly. Yep. So fuselage, tail, wing center section, wings. Then you paint. Then you put it all together like we've got it all here now.
Okay.
And from there, then you go in and do the avionics installation and the engine installations.
Gotcha. Have you guys pretty much done all that yourself, or did you have somebody come in and do the avionics? Would you order a kit for the wiring, or how did that work for you?
We really haven't had anybody help us on any of it at this point. One of our neighbors is an avionics guy, and he's given us a couple pointers, but we chose Dynon for our avionics, and then we chose Vertical Power for their VPX, which is the electronic circuit breakers, and their PPS, which is their power supply. And that simplifies a lot of it. And we're at the point now where we've got all our wires run, and now it's just time to start terminating everything and doing all the final hookup.
Doing all the soldering, all the crimping, pinning out of connectors, that kind of stuff is kind of the next piece of what we've got to do on it. So.
Gotcha. So I've seen the Aircam in a couple different configurations. Most popular probably is just completely open cockpit canopy, and there's also like a fighter jet style. Are you have completely open, or what's this one gonna be built as?
Completely. It'll all be completely open. We're not. There is a canopy you can put on it that'll enclose it, which is all plexiglass or Lexan, and it folds up. We're not going to do that at this point in time.
It may be something we come back and do later, but not right now. We're not going to do it quite yet. So.
Okay, and I see you've got some rather big Alaskan bush wheel tires. So where do you plan on possibly landing this place off airport places?
I don't know. Is that a question we really want to answer on camera?
Of course, we live here in Benton, Kansas, which is down south, kind of central near Wichita, and there's prairies everywhere and rivers with some sandbars and those kinds of things. And that's
so you have all that here as well.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. We've got plenty of places we can go and have a little bit of fun on it. So.
Nice. Well, I hope the Aircam is going to have some cameras on it when you go flying.
Well, it probably will.
Possibly at some point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get too deep into this, let me thank our sponsors that make all of this possible. Great companies like Airworx, ACME AERO, Airtech Coatings, Kitplane Parts, STOL Creek Aviation, the Land Sport Aviation Showcase, Edge Performance. So take a moment after this video to say hello to all of them, and remember to check out the affiliate links in the description below. And remember, just build it. Let's get back to it. So I assume there's several different options for engines. So what did you guys go with on your build?
We opted for the 912 ULS engines, which is the basic engine that they sell. You can buy it with the injected, you can buy a 914s with it or whatever. And talking to the people at Lockwood, and for the area of the country we're in and the kind of flying we're doing, they said there's just no sense spending the extra money for the larger engines or even the fuel injection.
Okay. So that's 100 horsepower each, so you're pushing 200 horsepower. With that configuration, are you able, I assume, to still maintain altitude with one engine as a twin?
That's what they told us. You can even take it off on one engine.
The flight manual actually says basically something to the effect that you can get a 500 foot per minute climb on a good day with one engine. So, I mean, you're talking, you've got a lot of power out of just one engine in this airplane.
Sure.
So it's a little different than a lot of twins out there.
Yeah, and together in a cruise configuration, you're probably only burning 9 to 10 gallons an hour of both running, right?
Not even that.
Not even that.
Not even that. It's the cheapest twin time you'll get anywhere. You're talking probably 3 to 5 gallons of MoGas per side per hour.
Yeah.
So 10, like you said, at most. Probably closer to like 6, though.
Wow. Literally the most affordable multi-engine time you can get.
Yeah.
Other than the cost of the kitten engines themselves.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. That's the problem. That does become the issue at some point.
Awesome. Is there an option for the covering, or this one? The fuselage is aluminum. The tail feathers look to be fabric.
Yep.
And then it's a sleeve, so you got like 3 different materials here essentially, right?
Yeah,
more than 3 actually. Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So the control surfaces are all polyfiber. Ailerons were in socks that slide over the frame. The rudder was a sock that slides over the frame, and then the vertical stab and the flaps where you actually covered them.
The vertical stab is actually aluminum. The rudder, however, and the elevators and whatnot, all the control surfaces and the horizontal tail is actually
fabric,
polyfibered. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and the wings are Dacron socks, and of course they just slide over. Basic common, wing construction. With
so you got a good mix of experiences on this, everything but welding, pretty much, right?
That would be correct.
Yeah. We did not have to weld anything, which is good because neither one of us know how to weld anything at all. So.
A way to learn that too.
Yeah, we would have learned that pretty quick, but.
Well, you got to do some fabric, a little bit of priming and gluing and painting and stretching and heating the Dacron, right?
Yep, I believe.
Heating the Dacron. From taking delivery to taking inventory, and to this stage now, about how many hours in are you at this point?
Haven't totaled up recently, but I think we're probably somewhere around 800 to 850 hours. They quoted as a 1,200 hour build.
Okay.
But they also told me, if you've built before, that it won't take that long. I think when we're done, it's probably going to be around 1,000 to 1,100 by the time we get done.
Not bad. Not bad.
We've enjoyed it.
The thing to remember, though, is that that's the total time you've spent working on it. That's not the time you've spent cumulative waiting on paint to dry. waiting on stuff to get here that you've ordered, running wires and not wanting to work because it's really hot, like we've run into here recently. You know, I mean, it's probably about 87 out here today, and it's probably about the same in the hangar here right now. So I mean, it's pretty warm out here. You kind of have to work in the mornings.
So this is a tail dragger. This is experimental. Is there any other type of training you guys? Well, you need to be twin rated, I assume, then too, right?
Got to have your multi,
Yeah.
And this is a little bit of a unique design. So do they offer transition training, or have you? This is a high wing pusher configuration. So when you throttle up or down, it's going to be acting a little bit different than most tractor aircraft.
You can get, Lockwood, to my knowledge, doesn't offer anything, but I know there are people that do. I found them on the internet. There's somebody, I think it's in North or South Carolina, that we've been thinking about going and seeing maybe. We're lucky we have a neighbor who has got tons and tons of multi-time and has a bunch of Aircam time as well. So we don't know if we're going to work with him or what we're going to do.
Okay.
But the first plane I ever built was a Rans S12, which is a single engine pusher, so I'm familiar with pushers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the first airplane I soloed was an Aerolite 103. So that was just before I got my license. So in fact, I soloed that thing before I soloed a certificated airplane.
Nice.
So I hadn't even soloed our mall that we've got over in one of the T hangars here on the field, and when I was getting my license. And
So what is the kit investment, and then what do you think you've got invested or will have invested to build this?
Memory serves me correctly. The kit was $65,000. Plus, it was shipping and getting it here, is another couple grand, something like that. Of course, that does not include your engines.
or the avionics for that matter.
The avionics. We spent about $21,000 on our avionics package that we decided to put in it. And then the engine package for the two engines and all the parts, exhaust, props, all that's going to be about another $60,000. The other thing that kind of sneaks up on you is all the little miscellaneous stuff you buy here and there.
The incidentals.
I think people need to keep that in mind, because if you're really on a tight budget, you could get some surprises. It's just like we needed to crimp some 4-gauge wire, put some lugs on the end of the 4-gauge wire. I'm gonna go buy a tool for that. Well, it's $50. $50.
Yeah.
I think when we get all done, we're gonna be about $170,000 in the airplane.
Okay.
And we spend extra money on the bush wheels too.
$2,000 or $2,500 or so on those.
Yeah,
With that and the wheels and brakes and all that we had to do differently, and the baby bush wheel I think was about $5,000.
And then we had the rear instrument panel option.
Obviously, you've got a much bigger hangar than a T hangar, but just look at the sheer wingspan. Will this fit in a regular T hangar, or needs to be in a box hangar probably?
It's not much bigger than our Husky we've got. You can kind of see behind us here. Actually, the wingspan's probably about, I want to say 28.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, so it should fit in a T hangar.
It's pretty much comparable
okay.
to something like a Husky or a Mall.
Maybe it just looks wider because I'm seeing straight through it.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly. You're looking straight through the airplane, so
right.
it looks a little bit longer. Yeah.
Okay.
We wanted to originally. Our plan, we were going to put it on amphibious floats, which we wanted to do. But our hangar door is only 12 feet tall, and you need 14 feet. Something to keep in mind: if you're going to put on floats, you need 14 feet.
Yeah.
You need a lot of clearance. The tail is huge on this airplane. The rudder, the vertical fin, is massive because you've got those two engines.
Sure.
It's a multi-engine airplane. So that's one of the considerations that you've got when you're putting it on floats, is you've got a lot more clearance you're going to need for it than if you're just building it and putting it on bush wheels or regular tires.
Sure. Well, guys, thanks for giving us a quick hangar tour of your Aircam and filling us in on what it's like to build one of these and the cost involved. I appreciate your time today.
You bet.
Hey, no problem.
Remember to like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.